It's taking some time. Okay, so Subhani, did the SAP installation problem resolved? Do you have access now to your system?
No, not yet.
Not yet, huh? Okay.
No, actually, it's because of operating system only we got that.
Yes, it needs Windows, I think earlier versions, not 7.
Yeah.
Okay, so just forget about the program. Just say this is a program. Now, what to say? Everything is commented. This is not the example. One second. Okay, say suppose this is a program, and in this program you have declared many data with the reference of a data dictionary entity or object. Now suppose this is a data dictionary object, anything like this one, this is a data dictionary object. Now if you double click on it, it will immediately navigate you to data dictionary. See, it will immediately navigate you to data dictionary. It will show you this particular field is from which table. So that's what it is talking about. Integration with the above workbench. You can navigate from here to there. Data integrity we have covered. Node redundancy. Integration with above workbench. You can navigate easily. Basic objects of above dictionary. Now we are directly jumping into the screens. Now what are the basic objects of a ABAP dictionary? Tables store the information in the database, data elements, domains are the okay. So now as I said you that database only understand the tabular format. Now you are going to, you are trying to create a table. Now what does a table contain? If you can see, this suppose this is a particular table. This is a particular table named QMEL. This is created in database. And another most important thing is that like anything created without the name of Z or Y will be considered as a SAP standard object. Means SAP India or SAP Labs people have created those objects only. These are automatically coming with the SAP installation. Now anything you find which is started with Z or Y, it should be it will be a customized object. Means you have created or somebody else like you or me have created those objects. So like this is a QMEL, so this is a already inbuilt SAP created table. So just take an example of this one. Now what does a table contain? Now as the name suggests table, so it should have some columns, some rows. So now each and every column is named as a field. It should have some field, like for your that Airtel example, like your address table. Address table should have some 3 to 4 fields, like first field should be your mobile number, second field should be like your name, third field should be your street, fourth should be your city, 5 should be your pin code, your state, your country, your email ID, like this kind of fields. And each and every column should be a particular field, and each and every row represents the number of records. Suppose first row is your number, your record. Second row could be mine. Third row could be X. Fourth could be Y. So like this, each and every row will add. The table will be populated with values. Now how those values will look like? So there are certain buttons. I will come one by one. Just try to follow what I'm saying right now. So suppose this is a table. This is certain. These are the field names or column names. It is asking for how many fields in the selection screen. Just select any. So this is a local test systems. So just don't afraid of any error message or anything. It can show you any kind of surprise messages. But you can play with the system. You can learn a lot of things. So okay. So this is what selection screen. We'll cover selection screen also. So for the time being, just see that how a selection screen look like. Selection screen will provide you an interface or application. See, this is the kind of application. Means in your screen, it will expect something from you, and if you will expect something in return from it, like I want to put something and I want to see what those entries are holding. So like this is some certain fields. I'll not put anything, I'll just execute it and I'll see how many entries are there. So this is what this table is holding in the database. So now see, this table is showing some lot of data. It doesn't mean that this data is coming from ABAP dictionary. All those data is coming from Oracle database. Now immediately whenever you press this button, this ABAP dictionary understood that I need to, as the user didn't mention any kind of criteria in the selection screen, so this ABAP dictionary immediately understand that I need to fetch all the data. There is a certain criteria like select entries 200, so it is by default. By default, it will not show me maximum 200 entries, because maybe there are more thousands of entries, and if it will like to get all the data, if you press this button execute, it will try to fetch all the data and it will take much time. So whenever you execute, it will show the data, whatever the data is available. This is may not be some good data because this is a test system, see some fields are empty, so there is no meaning, just for testing purpose. So it should be some value like this is 1 column, 2 column, 3 column, 5 column. And the first field is mandatory. Mandatory means it will show you the client name. So I have logged into client 800 and this data is specific to client 800 only. Kind of like independent and dependent data in SAP. Client dependent, client independent data. So this is what a table look like. It is having a certain number of rows, columns. If you double click on any of the entries, it will show you the particular that row detail. See, you can do much more details with this. These many fields or these many columns are there in the table. Maybe 100, it could be 1000, whatever. All the fields and everything has been started with some particular name format, but not Z or Y. So that it should be understandable that it is already created by, or it is already provided by SAP. See, if anything is started with Z or Y, that should be a custom object. Okay. So that's what a table is. Now let's move into the individual characteristics. Now we have seen that there are a lot of fields. Now what is a field? A field will just represent the particular column characteristics of the column name, or what kind of data that particular column could have. Now what is a field is having? Now if you see that in the table, see this is the field name, corresponding to that it has a data element. It is showing what kind of data it is. QMNUM. This is of type char. This is of length 12. It should have, what is the decimal place is 0, and it is having a short description, notification number. Now these four things we need not have to provide. It is automatically fetching those details from the data element. Now what is a data element? Now whenever you are going to try to create a table, just let me create a table for you. Suppose set test Subhani. If you just press create, what happened? Oh, sorry. See, if you want to do something and you have done something wrong to SAP, immediately you will find a message. What it is showing? Table Z underscore test Subhani underscore not permitted at second and third place. Means you have to create it like this. Z test. Means after Z, immediately after Z or Y, you cannot put underscore. And as I am going to create a table with Z, I want to create a custom table, I need to create it with Z only. See, if I try to create without Z, what will happen? Press the create button. See, it will immediately ask you for an access key, because I do not have authorization to create any object in SAP with that kind of a nomenclature. I need to follow the standard rule. So what is the standard rule? It should be Y or it should be Z. Mostly where means earlier it used to means people used to provide a Y, but recently, not from recently, means from long back only, everybody is preferred to use Z only. Okay, so just press create, put some description test, leave these fields. I will come to these fields after some time. Oh, it is asking for that. Okay, now field. You can put something, some standard field also, anything. Suppose Kunnar is a standard one and is a standard data element. Immediately you press enter, you will get what is having with the data element. It's already created. Now if you want to create something custom, something at your own, suppose this is the one field and this is one data element you want to create, but this is not there in the SAP system. So if you, whenever you press enter, it will pop up a map. It will say that this is not active because this one is not at all created. So just double click on it. Save before existing, yes. This thing I'll come to you later. Just follow the screens what I'm doing. So right now I'm creating a, see, it will ask for whether you want to create this data element, as this data element is not created. So what exactly data element is? Now data element is a ABAP dictionary object which holds the characteristics description of a particular field. It will hold only the characteristics description. Now that field could be a character, this field could be a numeric, this field could be a kind of sales order, this field could be a kind of material. So it will hold the characteristics description, and immediately you go inside this data element, you will find it will ask for a domain name, and domain is also like similar type of thing, means you can get any domain which will coming from the data dictionary. Otherwise you can create your own domain. Press enter, it will say that it is not active. So I need to create a domain also. Okay, yes, I want to create a domain. Now what domain? Domain will hold the technical characteristics. It will tell you that if this is a sales order, yes. Now data element will hold you the characteristics description, means it will tell you the description kind of knowledge. Means suppose if this Z Shubhani is a numeric field or numeric or a sales order, it will hold the sales order data. So in the data element you will just describe like that, this is a sales order data. Now what kind of data that sales order data will be? In the domain you will find that details, like it could be a character, it could hold up to 10 places, it could have some 2 decimals, it could have some sign, plus minus, you can say plus minus. If you take it, see there is a button called lowercase, so it could be lowercase, uppercase, so all the details. You can put some character, it could be hold up to 18 characters, so like this information you can provide. Conversion routine. Conversion routine is another thing, like suppose sales order field, like our earlier table. Just let me show you that what is the conversion routine. Conversion routine means it will convert whatever data you give to a particular field, the data will be converted to its own type. Suppose for a particular field can hold up to 10 field. Like what is our table name? Let's take an example of KNA1. Check the entries. See. Now this Kunnar has some 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 10 or 12 entries in a particular row. It can hold up to 12 characters. Okay. So whenever you pass 1 to this field Kunnar, what it will do? It will not store 1 in the field. It will keep 1 at last and it will place zeros in all the remaining spaces. So that's what a conversion routine is. Now what it will do the conversion routine, it will just convert in a particular format. Now you can assign your own format. Say, see, whenever now this is a Kunnar field, standard one, a standard data element is declared. Double click on the data element, it is showing that customer number 1. So it is holding the characteristics data. What is this? Customer field level. If it is a 10 customer, like this, means what kind of, you see, for long characters you can put some long description also. So it will hold the only descriptive kind of knowledge information. Double click on the domain, it will hold the what kind of data type, number of characters, output length. There is no sign, but there is a conversion routine attached to it, alpha. If you double click on it, it will show you 2 function modules: conversion alpha input, conversion alpha output, this kind of things. So what this conversion routine is doing, it is attached to a conversion routine. Whenever you put 1, this function module will convert that 1 to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, like that. Okay, so this is what about data element and domain. Now see, table 1, table 2, table 3. Table 1 have a particular data element, table 2 is using the same data element. Now both the data element can have the same domain. Yes, it's possible, because data element is nothing but a characteristics data. Now as you have seen Kunnar, you can this Kunnar data element will hold the customer number. So it's already there in SAP. Now whenever you are going to try to create your own table like Z Subhani underscore customer, you can use the Kunnar also. If everything is like, if you want the similar kind of functionality, you can use the same Kunnar data element. Likewise domain also. As this particular domain is having 10 characters to decimal or 10 digit to decimal, and I want the same one, same kind of a requirement or character, so I can just use the original existing domain. So it could be like multiple data element could have a same single domain. Likewise, multiple fields, table fields could have a single data element. Okay, is it understandable?
Yeah.
Okay, just let me know if any doubt. Huh?
Okay.
Okay, so database utility, this is nothing but an interface. So this is data dictionary, this is database. In between this, there are some interface is there. Database utility summary. That's all about the first slide. So this is the basic things of ABAP dictionary of table. Okay, now what next? Okay, now dictionary objects. Now we'll find what are the dictionary objects. Yes, access the above dictionary, discuss the basic objects, domain, data element, table, etc. Define and create a table, data element, and domain. So I already covered some of the things. Just let pass the things. So the transaction code is SE11. So just let me show you once again. See, in SAP, today I'll say one line that will be I'll be repeating that particular line most of the times in further classes. Like in SAP or in ABAP, they have created n number of ways to do a particular single things. Suppose data dictionary. To access the data dictionary, SE11 is a transaction. This is the transaction where you can create database, table, views, data type, group, domain, search, whatever it is you want to create, you can create. There is another table. You can even view the table entries also. But this is not enough. If they decided that, okay, I will not provide you the create access, they may provide you this access, SE12 transaction, SE12, 1, 2. In this transaction, you can view everything, but you cannot create anything. There is another transaction, SE16. This is also same. Whenever you press enter, it will immediately go to the selection criteria. It will not show you the field names. There is one more transaction, SE16N. It will show you directly the field names, and in the same way you can provide the values here. So by all those 4 transactions, if you want to view a table, you can achieve from all those 4 transactions. But SAP has provided you multiple ways. So in the coming classes, I used to say this line again and again, because I will show you that there are so many ways of coding, so many ways of doing these things, but we will pick up the best one. We will pick the most best one, means which is performatically good, because everything at the end of the day, performance which does matter. There are a lot of ways I can access the database, but what does it mean? Means what is matter at the end of the day? It should be the performance. Means whenever I click anything, it should return me how fast it can return me. So performatically, from performance point of view, we will pick those options only. Like there are 10 options, means we're not, maybe we can go through all the 10, but or sometimes we'll just recommend or we'll cover only this 3 to 4, which is using. Or knowledge purpose, you can go through the slides, you can go through the books, anywhere, exam purpose, whatever it is. Okay. So transaction is SE11, SE12, SE16, SE16N. So various kind of transactions are there. Basic objects of data dictionary, yes. Data element, domain, this is the pictorial representation. What could be a table? KNE1 is a customer master table. It could be a tabular format like this. Object navigator, and this is what above workbench is? Above workbench is nothing but SE80 transaction. If you press SE80, see these transactions that day, earlier day, what I told you that this is like a web browser. Instead of website name, I'll put SAP understand some transaction. So this is kind of like website only. So SE80 is a kind of a transaction. If you put in that place SE80, it knows that which screen I need to show or which application I need to pick. So it will pick you it will provide you the SE80 ABAP workbench access application. So it will now show. Let it come. Yes, it's come. So this is what a object navigator. This is the ABAP dictionary. ABAP workbench. So here you can do some internet problem. Okay, we'll come to it step by step. See, this portion is not able to, I'm not able to view it. Something is problem with the internet, or maybe leave it right now. So in object navigator, we can we can see development class, programs, object, all those things. Object navigator. Now this is the way we can create a table. I have shown you. This first screen will come. You need to provide some description. Then in the first step, I have provided something. Now we will discuss about this something. What exactly is this tab's meaning? So what is this? This is a tab of delivery and maintenance. Well, let's jump into the table. Did you save it? Yes, okay, it's got saved. Okay. So the first tab, delivery and maintenance. What exactly is this? Now this tab is going to hold the information related to which kind of data is this table is going to store, and how anyone can access this table. Because whenever you are creating a table, so it should be ensured that, because I'm creating a table, the sole purpose is I want to store some data. Now I need to provide the information like what kind of data this table is going to store, or who are the person who can go and store data in this particular table. So now in the delivery and maintenance table, there is a field called delivery class. What exactly is this? If you click the F4 button, say this is the F4 button, search help, the first class I mentioned you. If you have any doubt, just press that one. It will show you for this particular field, C, lot of entries are there. Means what are the possible values? If you press Z here, it will say the enter a valid value. It's not valid. So to find out a valid value, there is always a F4 option is available. Just press that button. It will show you what are the possible values it could have. Now what this delivery class is holding? It is holding the type of data it can store. See, if you put A, it will hold this table will be going to hold only master data and transaction data. So you know what is master data, transaction data. If you press C, this table will hold customization table maintenance only by customer, not SAP import. Means it would be a customer specific table. Means this table will not be used by throughout business. This table will be used by specific customers only. Suppose for a specific customer, I want to update this value at the end of the day. So like this kind of a table. Like there are certain all the details like table storing temporary data, customizing table data, control data, SAP customer data. Like control data means control the organization. You have some particular certain data which is not at all changing frequently. So some control data, system table maintenance data. So this kind of information you can just go through, you will understand. For exam purpose, you can memorize those things. That's it. A means this, C means this, like this one. So delivery class holds the information, what kind of data it can store. So suppose I will put master data or transaction data because this is the mostly used one. Now data browser, table viewer maintenance. Who can means how this table can be accessible. So if you say that display maintenance allowed with restrictions, now this table will understand that to maintain this table, your particular user ID should have some particular authorization group or some particular access. Those people who have those particular access, they only can maintain this table. Display maintenance allowed. So this is for globally, anyone can maintain. Like display maintenance not allowed. Nobody can maintain the table. So this is not at all used like this. Means you created some table. Nobody can externally maintain the table. This table can be used by some other program or some other way. Okay. So this is what delivery class table maintenance attribute. Any question in this? Two level domain concept. This one is already covered. Okay.
Yeah, while listening,
Hello.
yeah.
Okay. Any question?
No, nothing. While listening, it okay, seems easy, but again, I mean, so I need to practice.
I didn't get you. See, sound is not clear.
Actually, while listening, then till now it's okay, understandable.
Okay.
I definitely it needs some practice to get the grip on it.
Yes. See, after this session means if you just log into SAP and just play with the screens, it's very simple.
Yeah.
So just means fix that installation problem, and if you follow the slides, these are very simple things. You can remind them easily. Just one practice is enough. Just for the time being, just understand the concept or the basic. After that, you can remind those things. Two-level domain concept already elaborate. Multiple data element can have a single domain. Yes. Data element, predefined data elements. Predefined data element is nothing but SAP provided. Means whatever is there in the ABAP dictionary. It's not Z. It's SAP Labs or SAP India has created that one. Create data element. We have created data element already. Data element documentation. Yes. One more thing is the documentation. Documentation means, see, suppose for this corner, documentation, supplementary documentation. So these two buttons are like documentation is some brief. In supplementary, you can provide some more details. What is this documentation holding? It will tell you the story about this Kunna data element. Means this is a customer number. This could be like this. Some extra text like customer number. Nothing more than nothing is given much more than. You can provide some more description like this is a customer table. Customer from this table are going to use this one. So like simple description so that anyone can understand. Domains, characteristics of a domain. It could have how many characters. Allowed values. Okay, this is one important point. Now, allowed values, the term is simply when I press F4 here, you have noticed that what are the values I can put here, and it will not accept anything. So this field has a particular restriction. It can contain these values only. Now a domain can have this particular characteristics. Like if you double click on a domain, there is a tab called value range. If you click on the value range, you will find that there is a container where you can put some existing values, or else there is a field called value table. Now what is this value table doing? Suppose for this particular KNU NNR field, Kunnar field, if you like the earlier example, if you want to put anything in this field, it will not accept it. The how the process will go? It will go and check in the value range table. That will be done in the runtime. What it will check? It will check in the value range table any values available or not to check with the entry you have given, or else it will go into this table and it will check whether that entry is already there in this table or not. So if it matches, then only it will accept, otherwise it will not accept. So that's what a value range tab can do. For a particular specific domain, you can specify the particular values of a particular field, like this one, simply this one, data class C. At the back end, whenever you just press F4 button or you press Z, at the back end it is comparing with these values, and those values are coming from some particular table, or it could have some value table also. Or just let me check what is exactly the field name is. What happened? Condition flag. This is the domain. I'm going inside this domain, value range C. They have not mentioned table here. What they have mentioned is that they have fixed the values, like you can put A, C, L, G, this kind of things. If nothing is mentioned, you can put anything. If anything is mentioned, this value should be strictly, it should check these values. It should check these values or it should check this table like this. Okay. So what I have done to see this, see, if you need any information like delivery class, this field is holding value A. Now what is this field? I want to know. Just press F1. Just press F1 anywhere. If you want to know this field, press F1. Just select this field and press F1. It will show you the performance assistance one screen, and which holds the details related to this particular field, delivery class, what kind of a field it is. And there is a button called technical button. If you click that button, it will show you the technical name of this field, the technical structure name. Double click on it, you can navigate to the particular table from which this field is coming, like this. So allowed values, domain. Benefit of use allowed values, I already explained. Create a domain. Yes, we can create, we can provide single value, or we can provide intervals, we can provide value table name. Fields, we have already added a field. Now maintaining technical settings in a table. Now what exactly is the technical settings in a table? Now see, we have done with the delivery class or delivery and maintenance class. Now there is a button, technical settings. Click this one. Now this screen will tell you lot of story related to this table. Now see, you will find another data class here. This is also kind of a similar thing. Master data, transaction data, customer data, like this. Suppose I will say master data or transfer data. So this is nothing to explain. This is similar to that only. Next one is size category. So this is one important thing. You just press F4. That's what is the problem of test system. Leave it. Let me show you for an existing system. Technical details. Just press F4. You will see that it will display your pop-up screen like that. Now size category. What does it mean by size category? It will show you how many entries this table could store. If you mention 0, it could have 0 to 340. If you made 1, it could have this to this, it may be this to this, it may be this to this. So these entries could be fixed, could be something in 4.7, could be something maybe in EC6, maybe 0 to 1000 like this. But the implication of this size category is it will tell you how many entries this table could have. Now suppose you have mentioned 0. So it will only have 0 to 340. Now what will happen if it exceeds 340? Now SAP has already developed something called SAP table extensions. Now what exactly that is? It's an internal kind of thing. Means SAP automatically understand that. Now if you mention 340 and if it exceeds from 340, so from those table extensions it can increase the size of the table. Now how that table extension is working, I also don't have no idea. Just theoretically I have this much of information because I have never faced this kind of scenario actually. So what does it mean? Suppose you have some table, you have created some table which holds the organizational data. Now organizational data is a kind of data which will never be going to change, or maybe after 5 years it is going to change. So suppose today you have created this table with your organization data. Suppose that there is 300 entries. So definitely it will continue. Still you are not going to reform your organization. You are not going to do some drastic change in your organization. But till that day it will not going to change. For transactional data you should select much more entries, because this could hold many data. A lot of customers are every day recharging, doing this, Airtel Live, those things. So this data should be updated. This table should have the capacity to hold those many lakhs of data. So this is what it is showing. This is the logical storage parameter screen. Okay. Next one is buffering. Now buffering is another very good concept in SAP. Now what exactly is a buffering? Buffering means, suppose you have a very large table in the database, or for a transaction table or whatever it is, which holds lakhs of data, or which is updating every day. Every day this table is updating with lakhs of data. Now what will happen if at the end of the day multiple managers are going to track for each region, for my region what are the today's transaction? What will happen? Suppose at the same time they are going to access the same table from 15 countries or 15 regions. So at the same time, from the 15 machines, it will try to get different data from the same table. So just think about the access, or think about the performance of the database at that time. So to improve that performance, SAP has come up with a solution called buffering. So buffer is a very good feature. So what it will do, so suppose a table has been created, and whenever someone accesses the table for the first time, SAP will create a duplicate table record in the application server. So in the database it is having suppose 6 lakhs of records. Now whenever somebody accesses this table first time, it will copy the same 6 lakh entries into the application server. Now from the next time anyone is going to access the database, it will not go to database, it will take the data from the application server. Now what will happen if in the next hour this table is updated with 1 lakh more entries, like from 6 lakh to 7 lakhs. So for those kind of tables, means where the buffering is allowed, it will automatically, after certain times, automatically that replication will be happen. So like that. So this will improve the performance, because in the first class I told you that suppose for employee for an office they have 100 employees connected to one application server, one database server. I have recruited 100 more, so I'm not going to attach those new 101 with the earlier application server. I'll create another application server. So application server will take the load of new 100 employees, but the database will get the same kind of a load only. So that's what the buffering is doing. Buffering not allowed, buffering allowed, but switched off, buffering switched on. So these are the buttons. Now buffering can be of 3 types: single record buffering, generic buffering, or full buffer. If you take full buffered, it will not check for anything, any particular field. It will understand that I need to get data. I need to replicate the whole table. Means I'll consider the whole table. What is a single record? Single record means this particular table is maximum time. This particular table is searching for or accessing for only a single record only. So I will mention that particular single record. And middle one is generic area buffer, means multiple fields. See, you can mention a number of fields. So you suppose for 3 to 4 key combination, mostly this table is going to use. So in application server, based on those 3 to 4 combination, whatever data available, it will be automatically available in application server. So that's what the buffering is. Last one is yeah. Tell me.
Can you come again with the buffering and buffering type?
Buffering type.
Both buffering and buffering type.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
a bit confused.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Can you please let me know means what exactly your confusion is? Means did you understand anything or you understand nothing?
Yeah, you buffering itself I got confused. So can you explain that one first?
Sure. See, buffering is a kind of facility available in ABAP dictionary. Suppose it's a very simple example. Suppose like that Airtel example what I used to give from the first class. Suppose today you have done some recharge Airtel Life, some transactions specific to your number. Okay. So suppose for a particular there are some specific country has been divided into 15 or 6 or 20 region, and every day at the end of the day, at the evening at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, some manager is going to sit in his system, and he want to check for a particular day how many customers have been recharged or how many customers have been done for some kind of transactions today. So from where he will get the data? There is as he has implemented SAP, so all the transactions happening throughout the country has been saved in a particular table, one table. Now these 20 people will try to access this particular table for different region. So what will happen? If those 20 people will try to access directly from the data, from this database, the system will be hanged, or the whatever database will crash. Anything could happen, because I think it's understandable, because if 20 people is going to try to access a particular system, this system will going to hang. Now, what is the logic of application server? Now, see, now all those 20 regions, they should have a application server. Now, those application servers are connected to the database server. Now, here the buffering is coming into the picture. What it will do is that, suppose the table is there in the database, and then table is having some 1 crores of record. Now, this table is going to create a duplicate table, which is not existing in the application server, but it's the kind of replica. So that replica table will be created in application server. In 20 application server, that replica entry will be created. Now, whenever those person or those managers are going to access the data from this table, he or she need not to go into the database. Database will not at all directly be fetched. They can get the data from their each and every application server, and they will immediately get the results as the load has been shared by 20. So that's what the buffering is called. Is it okay?
Okay.
You got right?
Yeah, I got. Actually, I asked my previous what buffering means every time I understood that it's only some free space like that.
No.
We're having some memory
Yeah.
like that. That's in my mind. So that's why I got bit confused. Okay now.
Okay. See, but buffering is used only for big tables, or which tables are used frequently. Only for those tables buffering is allowed. For most of the table, buffering is not allowed. See, this is a SAP table, customer table, and customer table is not at all updated every day. It means new business. If you get some new business, then only a customer is created. So in production, you will find that this table is updated maybe some to weekly, monthly basis like this, and so those tables can be accessed immediately from the database because they have some very less records. See, it's only 5500 to 22,000 like that. So if a table like for transaction data tables, like every day lakhs of records are updating, so those kinds of tables are having the problem. So for those kind of tables only, buffering is allowed, and buffering is of 3 types. Full buffered is irrespective of any key. It will create a duplicate record of whatever is there in the database, a duplicate in application server. What is single record? Single record is like there is a table in database, and the nature of the table is like that. Based on certain particular single field, this table is going to access every time. So what it will do? It will do a replica based on that single field only. It will not go for all the fields. Based on that field only, it will create a replica. Like generic keys for multiple keys, like 3 to 4 kinds of key combination you want to access this data. So this way it will create a replica, or based on those 3 to 4 fields, data will be already available in the application server. So that's what the buffering is called. Just try to imagine or be clear about this database layer, application layer, and presentation layer. It could be for any kind of organization. Database layer should be one. Database should have one, or it could be 2-3 database. If it's a very big company, it could have a 2-3 database. But generally, database should be one. It could be connected with multiple application server, like 20 application server. Now each application server could connect to the hundreds of computers like this. So it's a very simple flow logic. Okay, so that's what the technical settings are holding. Okay, what next? This is using a table in a program. This is not recorded right now. Okay, summary. So this is what about technical settings. What next? Foreign key relationship. Okay. Now foreign key relationship is what the, I told you in the starting of the class. Like there are thousands of tables in database, but if there is no connection in between the database tables, there is no use of the tables. I should have some connections in between the tables so that I can, from a table data, I can get the further data like that. So that's what the term here is foreign key. So whenever you are going to create a table, you should have mentioned some field connected with the another table. What we will go through in this slide: define and use a foreign key, understand the prerequisite and constructing foreign key relationship, interpret cardinality, yes, create foreign key relationship. Okay. Define a foreign keys using foreign key. Let's go into the system. See, this is a standard one. I'll explain through the standard one only. See, whenever you're going to create a table, this is the you can observe that there is some tick buttons. Now what are these tick buttons? This tick, if any field is having ticked, you can understand that this field is a primary key for this particular table. Now this table could connect with some other entries. Okay, it's already there. One second. It's there or what? It's not defined. Okay. Suppose this is one table I have created in my system. So like the field data element, if you go inside it will show domain like this. So now I want to make this table connected with some other field. So what I can do in that case, just select this one, select this row. There is a foreign key button in this screen. Just press this one, it will pop up a particular screen. Now you can maintain the records of that table with which you want to connect this table. Like say this is my, like I have created 3 tables for that Airtel example. One will hold your number and name, table A. Now table B will have some other address detail, table C will have some transaction details. So when this is a table A, this is having two entries only. Now I am going to connect table A with table B. So here is a field called check table. I will put here the name of a table B. So I don't know what is the table B name, so just let's put it KNA1. Okay, it's not matched. Okay, leave it. So what it will tell you that you can provide the table name here. There is a tick button also, whether check required or not. Check required means if you put some entries there and whether it should check with the corresponding entry of that field only. So you can maintain this also. Foreign key, field type, not specified. So most of the time it's not specified only. Cardinality is one more thing. Cardinality is means a kind of relation. Means suppose what exactly cardinality is. Cardinality will tell you the story corresponding to this entry. How many entry will be possible in the table B? So suppose corresponding to table A, in a table B also we should have only one record because it's holding the record. Now corresponding to table A, how many record will be possible in table C? It could have multiple because against your number it could be today at morning you have recharged something, today at the evening you have done some other cricket pack, like this. It could have multiple. So cardinality will show you that characters. Okay, so in the slides I will show you. So see, there is a value table we have covered in the domain area. Check table is what we can provide in the foreign key relationships. Now there could be certain situations when check table and value table could be same. Means for this particular field Kunnar, if you can see, let's have a field. See, it's already populated with this record because it's already SAP defined. So it knows that if anyone is going to use this Kunnar field, it should check with this field. So if I use this Kunnar field as a primary key of this table, whenever I am putting any entry in this field, it will go and check there. See, here the Kunnar field is maintained as check table. Now, if you go inside the domain, in the value range, you can find that this is a value table KNA1. So for this particular field, both the value table and the check table name is same. So there could be a situation where this table could be same. The implication of this two table is nothing. Both the table, the purpose is same. They will provide you a kind of check for the entry. Means whether the value is valid or not. The simple validation check. Okay. Sometimes it could not be, means in a check table, suppose there is a table maintained, and in the domain level there is no table maintained, there is some fixed value maintained, so it could be. Now cardinality is a kind of one to many relationships. Suppose my example, if I want to put a relation with A to C, it could be A will hold one record, but corresponding to A, C could have multiple records. So it could be one to many, like 1 and C. So like 1 will represent, it should have at least one record, at least or max one, at least or max 1. Now, so what will C represent? C represents you 0 or 1. So like if anything is like C to C, it could have 0 to 0, it could have 1 to 0, it could have 0 to 1, like this, or it could have 1 to 1. Means in the next table also should have a 1 to 1 or 0 to 1 relations. If it is N, it could be 1 or multiple. If it is Cn, it could be 0, it could be multiple. So this is what cardinality is. Cardinality will just simply, the basic concept is, it will tell you the story of a relationship. Now just let me tell you a practical example of a SAP related things like order table. There is a table, VBAK table. In this table, you will find unique order numbers. Now, every day, how many transactions are going on, how many people are ordering my product, those order numbers are going to store in that table. Now, definitely, those orders should have that field is unique, means there should not be any repeated order. So, each and every field is holding a new order. Now, there is another table called item table. Now, that particular item table will hold the details of each and every specific order. Now that could be multiple, means suppose for a particular order you have order 3 to 4 kinds of material, like you have order 10 packets of Maggi, you have order 15 packets of top ramen, 16 packets of blah blah blah, these things. So if you enter into the second table, you will find that corresponding to this order there are 3 entries. So the cardinality should be maintained 1 to N, because in first table it should be 1, it cannot be less than 1, or you can maintain like C to Cn also, there should not be any entry, means 0 to 0 also it could be possible. So 1 to N means it could have 1, it could, in the second table it could have, definitely there should be 1, or else, oh sorry, 1 to Cn is not possible, C to Cn is possible, 0 to 0 is possible. 1 to N, it should be 1 to 1, or the second table could have multiple entries. Means if there is one entry, so the second table should have at least one entry, but it could have multiple entries also. So that's what cardinality is. It will tell you the story in between two tables, what is the relations, how both the tables are going to maintain. Okay. Now creating a foreign key relationships, you can click that button. You can put those check tables, enter description, maintain the foreign key type, cardinality, a lot of things. Okay, now what next? Dictionary tables in a relational database. What exactly it is? Describe the different types of tables in SAP ABAP dictionary. Explain the technical settings for optimizing the storage and maintain the requirements. Describe the performance benefit through indexing. Okay, this is also a big slide. Let's start. Now this is how many kinds of tables are possible in ABAP dictionary. It could be transparent table, structure, pool table, cluster table, and view. Pool table and cluster tables are completely outdated things. Now what exactly is a transparent table? Most of the tables are transparent tables only. What is a structure? Structure is nothing but a skeleton. So let's show me it. This one, see, transparent table. You will find the description here only. Whenever I am creating a table which can hold multiple records, it should be transparent table. What exactly a transparent table means? Transparent table will tell you that now in a table there are two things. One is structure. One thing is structure and another thing is table. Now this is nothing, this looks like a structure, means a structure can hold only one data. It's the skeleton of the table. It will represent you it will tell you how many fields are there in the table, but it cannot store data. because it's not a table. Now whenever it's a transparent table, now what exactly a transparent table have? Each and every table have its own structure. Through this structure only, this table values are going to update. Now in the further slides, I will tell you how the table entries are going to update. Now for a transparent table, the structure name and the table name is same. This is what a transparent table is. Now suppose this is a structure. So structure is only holding the skeleton. These three fields contain the structure. Now as this is a transparent table, the structure name is same and the table name is also same, like this. You can see the entries of this table. Now I think it's not activated, it will not show you any data or what. Okay, it has some data. Okay, it has some data. So this is the table Z-test training. How this table is going to populate? It is going to populate through a structure whose name is Z-test training only. So that's what a transparent table is. View, what is a pool table and structure tables? Pool table and structure tables like this. Like pool table means it will hold, a pool table can store multiple tables in it. Like a transparent table is only a single entity, it's a single table. Like 3 to 4 transparent table can be stored in a pool table. Similarly in the cluster table also. What is the basic difference? Difference is like pool table that doesn't have any primary key, cluster table they have a primary key connection. So that's it all about pool table and cluster table. Nobody will ask you this thing because this is a very outdated thing, not at all used anywhere. What is a view? View is nothing but it will show you the data, but it doesn't hold any data like this. Suppose and there are 2-3 tables that there in transparent tables are available in database, and you want 2 fields from table 1, 3 fields from table 2, and some other 4 to 5 fields from table 3. Now this you can achieve by some coding also, or else you can create a view where you can mention these 4 fields and how these 4 fields will retrieve data from these 3 tables. Now that connection you can mention and it will show you. Now it will come in the coming slides. What else? Transparent table, yes. Normal table, transparent in the database, mapping of transparent table type in it, tabular field strings which do not hold data, they are not mapped to database. Underline database, this is pool tables and cluster tables, theories only. You can see here, this is what pool table. This 6 tables can store in a particular table. Some theories are there, you can go through the slides. So primary key, the tables must have primary key field in common and in cluster tables. Technical settings. Now technical settings I already covered. Data class, size category, buffering, log data changes. Log data changes, yeah, log data changes is that last button. Last button, one button is there. I think I forget to tell you that. This one. If you tick this one, that SAP administrator or who has the authorization to check the log data, he can see how many changes are going through this table. Means who has updated the table, at what time it is updated. Those data and all those records are going to be logged. That's what it is. Data class, yes, data class shows transaction data, master data. Now already covered, I will just pass the slides. Size category will tell you how many entries it could have, it could store. Buffering type, yes, single record buffering, generic record buffering, full buffering, logging, it can store the, if you tick this button, it will store the details, like what are the changes is going through in this table. Maintain the technical settings, you can check that. Database utility, so database utility is earlier already covered. It's an interface in between dictionary and database. Now next important is index. Now what exactly is an index? Now the basic concept of index is like, suppose I'll pick again the Airtel table, Airtel example. Now this is a table and I know that this table holds the records of your address. Now suppose I want to find out the address of a particular person. Now how will you do that? How will you find that address? You cannot jump into the table and you cannot search for all the lakhs of records. There should have been some way through which you can find the person's detail. Now how can I do that? So when the table has been created initially, SAP has created via foreign key relationship. SAP has created one primary key or index for that field, like telephone number. Now that particular telephone number is the primary index. That particular field, telephone number field, has been maintained as a primary index of this particular table. Means that this entry should be unique. Now I know that telephone number field is completely unique. Now if I have anyone's number, I can go into the table, I can provide this unique number, telephone number to the table, and I can get the details from that specific record. So that's very simple. Index is the primary key, means SAP will identify, or it's automatically done. Whenever you put some fields primary key, means you know that these values will be very unique to this table, because I need some unique values. Otherwise, there will be no scope to get the data from a table. If all your fields are redundant or repetitive, you cannot get a particular record. So those fields are going to call an index. Like a telephone book analog, it's a reference kind of thing. Like in a telephone book analog, you can find the from a big 1000-page book, you can find out the number from the, like, indexing has been done, like with the name of A, with the name of C. So this kind of thing. Index range, like multiple fields. Unique index scan. This is some kind of theories. You just go through the theories. It is understandable. Okay, now let me show you. So one thing is missing in the slide. Secondary index kind of thing is there. See, indexes. It will not. Yeah. This is secondary index 17. Okay, so as this is now, these two are primary key, so automatically SAP will understand that these two are the index already created for this table. SAP will automatically understand, and the dictionary will automatically understand that this should be the index. Now these two fields should have unique entries. Two fields should have unique. It's not like that this one is having 0, 1. Means combination of these two should be unique. That's what I want to say. Now you have created this table and you found that your third field, this one is also, you found that after some time you found that this is also holding some unique records. So in that case, what you can do, SAP has provided only these two fields as unique, but you find that in your process this field also going to hold some unique data. So now what you can do, you can make this also a index, so that you can search the table in a better performatically way. So what you can do in that case, you can just create a secondary index. Just click this button, press index, it will ask for you to create button. I already created a secondary index. If you double click on this, it will show you that. This is the screen, index name, short description you can put. In the secondary index, what is the field you want to put? Based on which field you want to create a secondary index. So now if you create secondary index, now these three fields are unique. Now this table should have entry where this combination is always unique. So this is what the concept of an index. Okay, so any doubt till now?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to stop here today, because I don't have time actually.
Just one.
Yeah, tell me.
The table which is showing on the screen right now. So we click JCAR and KVMNR. Can the table have two primary keys at a time?
Yes. Just let me show you. Not only two, multiple. It could have multiple. It could be anything. Just you need to find out how many.
Okay. When we are going for foreign key relationship, so we'll do that one based on primary key, right?
Primary key means if you want to put some, see, this table has a multiple foreign key relation. Primary key. So means based on this number and this number, this combination should be unique always.
Okay.
Like this.
I mean, whichever, if we are going to, I mean, there are three tables. Then one is containing multiple primary keys means.
Okay.
So the two combination of these two fields should be unique all the time, right?
Yes, in the table entries, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me show you. See 6, 9, 10, 70. See 70, 10, 70, 20, 70, 30, 70, 40. So this combination should be always unique. Nothing is repetitive because these two are the primary key. Now if you have these two information, you can get the specific record. It's not like, see, if you put, say, suppose you don't know the postman number, you have only the order number. Just click, you will find 4 entries. Now you are confused which one to choose. So to get more specific, you need to know, or you should cover all the primary keys. That's what.
Okay.
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 Okay. So I'm stopping here today. Our next class will be hopefully one day later, means Thursday, same time.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Welcome. So I'll this 4 slide I'll email you.
Yeah. Because I need to follow immediately.
Yes. Just a simple pick the topic and you just play. If your SAP installation problem has been done, just play with the screen. It's a very easy thing. Just conceptual basis only. Just you can understand. Okay.
Okay, Chandana.
Okay.
Bye.